It takes a village to lift you higher. We teach the way, feed the fire. It takes a village.
Welcome to another episode of the Village Podcast, where people help people. And I'm your host, Kendale Lumpkins. This month is World Mental Health Awareness Month. And today I have two people that I really value in the mental health space that I want to welcome to the show. I'm going to go with ladies first. Would y'all please help me welcome Miss Danyella Berry to the show? And my brother, my friend, Vesean Graham.
Sir, glad to be here.
Hey, so look, I open up this show all the time with just a question. And because we do things, we operate in certain spaces, we're helping people. But Danyella, I just want you to talk to me, you talk to the people. How are you doing?
I'm great. Excited.
Good.
Energized.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hopeful. Never wanted to do mental health in the whole aspect of things. All I wanted to do was case management.
Yeah.
But the yes that I gave in 2018 has proven itself to be the right decision.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
Wow. Good.
Yeah.
My brother, how about you? How are you? How are you outside of all the things you do?
Yeah.
How
All
are
the
you?
Things I'm juggling, right?
Yeah. How are you doing?
Man, it's a lot going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I'm a little shook
Mm-hmm.
by what I see,
Yeah.
but I'm also hopeful about the possibility.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm just walking by faith, trusting God through this thing, and taking it one day at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good.
That's real.
And so I think it's really important because so often I think what happens, people see us and sometimes they can think there's nothing going on in our lives.
Yeah,
Right.
far from the truth.
Because we're helping people
Right.
and they just see us smiling, they see us putting one foot in front of the other. And there's this stigma that, man, he looked like he got it all together. Man, Danyella's always smiling. She's always upbeat. She's always happy. And it can sometimes be like a misconception to that. So when we talk about mental health, why does mental health matter, first of all, to you?
Because I can't give you anything if I'm empty. There's nothing I can pour into you or anyone else if I don't pour into me first. And so making sure that I'm in the right space mentally means that I'm able to walk this walk, do the assignment, enjoy life.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And for you?
I'll piggyback off of Danyella because you really can't pour from an empty cup.
Right.
I learned it the hard way. And so we probably get into a little bit of that.
Yeah. Come on.
But man, I've been walking this journey becoming a better version of myself for a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I just have a heart, especially for men, to see them better, to see them better themselves, to be a better husband, better father, better person in the community. So that's really where my heart's at, and that's why it matters to me.
And so whenever you talk about men, I grew up and there was a rule in our house. My daddy used to say, whatever happened in this house,
Stay in this house.
It's gotta stay
y'all
there.
like
I
y'all,
ain't said the
y'all
same
like y'all had
thing.
the same name, or they probably were cousins or something. We all knew each other or something
Right.
like.
Yeah, man.
And so he didn't mean that in a bad way, but it sometimes make men be so closed off where we don't open up about the stuff that we're really dealing with.
It's not just men. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
It's not
Go
just
ahead.
men.
Go ahead.
It's people. It's culture. It's black folk.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just men.
But why though? Why is it so? Like, why do we as a culture, as a people, feel the need to just hold it all in and not say anything?
Shame.
Mm.
Stigmas. We don't want people to judge us.
Mm-hmm.
I say pride,
Yeah.
especially for the men,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to feel like I think the secondary things is what Danyella just said, the shame and guilt or whatever the case may be. But what I see from guys, man, is their pride won't let them be real, especially in front of another man and especially in front of another woman.
Yeah.
Because if you've got pride, then you got to deal with with perceived weakness that comes with that. And I think that in our culture really keeps us back.
And it's crazy because like we're all human. We all feel. So while I'm on this journey of mental health and I don't mind picking up the phone, talking to people, expressing, like I also see it from a different lens now that I'm in this space, how foolish I once was to try to hold it all in, to try to have this perception that I have it all together. And I agree, it's pride, right? Because used to be really, really prideful. Man, I don't want you to know what I'm going through. Like I could be struggling, I could be broke, I could be on my last leg, and I would just walk this life thinking that, man, I could get through it. I also heard people say, man up.
Right.
Toughen up.
Right.
Right. But now as a man, I'm like, man, what does that really mean? Like when you say man
what that looks
up?
like? What that looks like is that you're walking around bleeding all over people. I mean, like you got a trail of blood. You can look back and see like you're bleeding all over these people that you claim that you love, that you care for, that God has placed in your hands. And you think you're hiding it. And at the end of the day, you're really not.
Yeah.
If you're not careful, you're just going to bleed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a ticking time bomb.
It's a ticking time bomb.
It's a ticking time bomb. You know, we look at where the world is, where people are, like the violence and things of that nature. It's just anger, which is a signal that needs aren't being met. You know, that's the therapeutic way to
Come
say
on,
it.
talk to us. We need that. We need that.
Therapeutic way to
we
say
need
it.
that.
Anger is a signal that needs aren't being met. And so when people start to act out in violence, especially when we talk gun violence and things of that nature, it's me trying to get that emotional need of safety and security met. And for some, it's emotional, but for some, it's physical. For some, it's financial that turns into emotional, that turns into physical. For some, it's no supportive relationships that turns into emotional, that turns it's a whole system.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I do all day.
And when you talk about the anger, like I can remember growing up, my dad got hurt whenever I was 11 years old. And so whenever he got hurt, now as a man looking back on it, that's why him and I have a better relationship now. Because I understand his struggle, but as a kid, I didn't.
Absolutely.
Like he got hurt and he couldn't provide.
Gotcha.
So now you go from being this provider, being this guy that had been on your own since 17 years old, making your own money, and you're in a season of your life where you can't do it. Like my mom used to work 2 and 3 jobs, night shift, around the clock type of stuff, just to make ends meet. And I used to be like, man, why this dude always mad?
Because this isn't what I set out to be. This isn't the goal that I have. Somebody asked me a couple months ago about having a midlife crisis, and that's not a clinical term, but it's a street term that we use when someone gets to a point to where they look back over their life and they have regret. They have remorse and anger, disappointment about what I did or didn't do. And so we call it a midlife crisis because I wish I had gone another route. But then we start to think about what part of that was in my control, what parts of that wasn't. And I think that's important for us to understand as well.
Yeah, because now looking back, whenever he talked, he was frustrated then, but he'll tell you that he believed God allowed that to happen so he could be home with his 4 boys. Because he used to work a 4-month schedule, 4 months gone, 4 months home.
Right.
And he was chasing the money, trying to provide, trying to build a legacy, trying to make sure that he didn't have to go through what we didn't have to go through what he went through whenever he was a kid. And it felt like he had got stripped of it. And so when you talk about bleeding on people, that's why we used to walk on eggshells. Like I watch, I watch Joe Jackson, the movie Michael. And I could
I hadn't seen it yet.
My daddy wasn't that extreme.
Yeah.
But I can see like, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's experiencing some frustration and instead of talking to somebody, instead of having an outlet, you either explode or you're going to implode.
Because who am I going to talk to?
Exactly. The statistic says that 7 out of 10 Black men struggle with mental health and never get help. 7 out of 10. Mind blowing. Think about that for a second. So when you sit here and you talk about your dad, man, that's so many dads. That's so many coaches. That's so many preachers.
Yeah.
There's so many mothers. I'm going to bring the ladies into it too, because
Bring us in there.
7 out of 10 folk deal with some level of mental health and never, they go through life and never get the help they need. And so my heart breaks for your dad and the people like him, because one, they may have never had anybody in their life to tell them that it was okay, you know, and two, they never had access to the resources that we have today. So many things that brothers can get some help with. There's so many other brothers that's out there that has been through a lot and that don't mind sharing and don't mind being vulnerable to be able to share their story as well. And so, man, we just got to provide spaces for those people. We got to provide spaces for those guys, those ladies, to be able to share and let them know that it's okay at the end of the day.
And man, when you say 7 out of 10, that's alarming.
It's alarming. You got to almost kind of sit with that for a second to really understand the magnitude of that. So when you're sitting in a church, especially the church we go to, right? You're sitting in a church on an average Sunday. Think about it. 7 out of 10 individuals never get the help that they need. And they're sitting in there struggling. And they're coming to church, you know, they're seeking help. And that sermon on Sunday, that's good. But what you gonna do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? You know what I'm saying? Like where the rubber hits the road, like what's out there, and there's resources out there, but in our culture, is not readily acceptable for them to be able to receive the help that they need.
So got a question, and Danyella, then you answer. So my question is, how much of that has been normalized from a perspective of this is what I've seen, so I don't think anything's wrong with me because I saw this be the way men respond or women respond.
In the home. That's like question number 2 in therapy. I asked, what was modeled in your home? What was modeled in your home? And that is 99% of the answer is anger was modeled in my home. Depression was I saw my mom. I think she's taking medicine now. Things of that nature. That's like the response that you typically get. And so you see it 99% of the time that's what's been modeled in the home. But when you say 7 out of 10, just imagine those 7 who never receive therapy or services out of the 10, and then pair them with a female who too never received services. And so guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna break you down.
That's right.
And I'm in we see in Mississippi you have about 400 attempted suicides annually. Attempted. And for men, they're most successful because the way they do it is more lethal. And so it's detrimental for all of us, male and female, but it's even more detrimental for men.
For men. Number 2 leading cause of death for Black men. Guess what? You think it's heart disease?
No.
You think it's diabetes? No. It's suicide.
Suicide.
The number 2 leading cause of death in Black men. But you don't hear all this stuff. You know, nobody's putting this in your face. You know, you're not sitting with this and wrestling with this and putting programs and interventions in place for these young guys to understand that they're going to have to face these emotions and these things that they're having to go through. And have somewhere to place this stuff, because it's going to come out in some form or fashion. The number 2 leading cause of death in Black men, suicide.
And so Danyella, I didn't get a chance to get you to tell us what you do, your title, like, so can you talk a little bit about that? Because I got a question I want to build on that from that.
90% of the week, I am a therapist. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. And so 90% of the week, I operate as a clinical therapist I'm licensed in Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, and Massachusetts. So I hear people's problems all day, and they think I'm supposed to fix them, but that's not what we do. We help them identify what they deem as a problem and process strategies to cope with those problems, things that they cannot control, or come up with viable solutions to minimize or eliminate those problems.
So my question is, we talk about the numbers, 7 out of 10 men.
Okay.
Right? My question is, what do you do when they don't know it's a problem? Like, because you're talking about helping people, but I can't get help if I don't know I need it.
And the average man probably doesn't think he needs it because he's been taught for so long to deal with it, to suck it up. This is just something that we go through. You're supposed to handle that. That's the average man. But guess what? I can probably count on both of my hands how many of my clients are males, and that's in 4 states.
And in my heart, you know, like Graham talks about, my heart goes out to men. I mean, not isolating it. I'm saying women. I feel for anybody in this space.
Right.
It's just men, because I know the call, I know the command, I know what God has said we're supposed to be in our homes and our communities, and we experience this weight, and it's like we're carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we think it's normal to just walk this out,
Right.
to live this out. So, Graham, my question is, like, for you, what made you start this journey?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because, you know, we can make money.
Yeah.
We can be successful. We can dress this stuff up and we can look nice.
Yeah.
But like, what make you say, man, you know what? I need to go get some help.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was sharing with a friend. I was actually at Danyella's event not long ago, and I was sharing with one of my buddies. I was like, I got up to talk. One of my buddies got me up to talk, right, and do a filler, right. And so I began sharing, and I never shared that part of my story before. Like, what the simple answer is trauma.
Mm.
The simple answer is coming face to face with trauma. But you got to go back. And you said, like, the question a few minutes ago was like, how do you help a man that don't know? You got to help that little boy. You got to go back and get that little boy. Because when I look at my story, that's what I had to do. Mm-hmm. My dad left when I was a little boy. You know, I was just probably 6 or 7 years old. So he was out of the picture for the majority of my life. He was in and out. He was the fun guy that was able to come in and play Santa Claus, but he really wasn't there. Growing up with that, becoming a teenager and a young man, now he's not there. I see my mama struggling. I see her as a little kid go in the living room crying at night, praying to God how she gonna feed her 7 kids that she had. You know, a man left his wife with 7 kids. You know, I'm going in there and saying, Mommy, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. As a little boy, I still remember that kind of stuff. So it's those kind of traumas and triggers that you gotta deal with. You got to wrestle with. And so you take that into your young adult years. You're angry. You don't know why, but that's why. Mm-hmm. You still got to process that stuff and deal with it in some type of way. And luckily for me, you know, I had some uncles, my Uncle Willady and my Uncle Jay and my uncles saved my life.
Yes, sir.
They saved my life. And that's why I feel like I'm compelled in my family to be that to my nieces and nephews as well. Because if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I'd be sitting here right now. You know, I never really had concrete thoughts of like suicide or anything like that, or I never carried out a plan. Since you're a mental health therapist, I got to make sure I state that.
Yeah.
So I don't get in trouble. Never had a plan, but I can't say that the thought ain't never crossed my mind. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think you got to go back and deal with that little boy and deal with those traumas, deal with those triggers, and really wrestle with who you are and why did it hurt you, and then what you're going to do about it.
Yeah. Wow. You got anything you want to add to that?
I do, because
Come on, talk.
I don't like trauma. I'm a therapist that hates trauma. I hate trauma. Depression, anxiety, bring it on. We can fix it. But guess what? Under every minimal surface of anxiety and depression is trauma.
It's trauma.
Because you talk about the little boy whose father was in and out and not there consistently. But trauma for somebody doesn't even have to be that extreme. It could be both parents in the home and we're still struggling financially. It could be someone coming in and touching me, you know, inappropriately. It could be just that and it could be trauma. So what's traumatic for you could be normal for me, but it could be very traumatic. So it's all surfaced in trauma. An accident, yelling can be traumatic for somebody. Being removed from the home, because I worked for CPS, the initial part of my social work career. And so we removed people from homes, children from their homes, because either the parents tested positive positive for a drug substance, or maybe because they just did not have adequate housing. Traumatic, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so now here I am, a grown person, and I don't feel safe and secure somewhere, and I'm depressed, I have anxiety, and it's rooted in trauma.
Yeah. Wow. And so, like, when you talk about the two parents, like, whenever I saw, and I'm saying, I'm trying to piece all this stuff together up as a man.
Yeah.
Right. I saw my mom and daddy struggle like that, which led me to gambling. And so in my mind, I said, I don't ever want to experience this again. And so I didn't even realize that I had done got addicted to it, because I'm just trying to make sure I can survive.
Right.
But when you wake up out of your sleep at 3:00 in the morning, you drive from Columbia, Mississippi to the casino, and you got time to think about it, you got a problem.
Yeah.
You have a problem. And I didn't realize it then, but now I can speak the language to it. Like, man, struggling. Like, my mama and daddy, the last time we were able to get something, we had 4 boys, 1 sister. The last time we got something for Christmas, we was 11 years old. So I realize even today, and it's not I don't even want to say it's a good thing, but I still have that sense of, man, I don't ever want to go back to that. And so I'm doing my devotion one day, journaling, and a lot of my success, or what I say so-called success, or the things that I've been able to accomplish, were driven by fear.
Top emotional needs, safety and security.
Yes.
Fear of going back.
Yeah.
And as I'm writing, this is what the Holy Spirit asked me. Kendale, what are you going to do now that you're no longer afraid? You got the job.
Right.
You got the house. What's motivating you now?
Right.
And man, I had to sit with that, because I'm tripping because I didn't know. I had no idea, because all of what I do or what I was doing was driven by fear.
Yep.
Fear of never going back. Fear of not being like, and my mom and daddy did the best they could. My daddy didn't try to get hurt. It happened. It turned out to be a blessing because he was there. I don't know where we would have been if my daddy wouldn't have been home, because my mama wasn't going to be able to handle 4 boys. Because my daddy was crazy. I'm talking about my daddy, he say something in this. That's what I mean.
That's the law.
But I realized that, and I'm saying those were just triggers for me to understand, man, you need to get some help. You need to work on that. You need to talk to somebody.
Right.
But you had a relationship you with a higher power, opposed to talking to maybe some of your boys who had some of the same thoughts and who had some of the same habits, who normalized these behaviors. And that's not what we're seeing in today's society. And so when I talk breaking the stigma, it comes from an educated place, and I'm trying to work in those environments where people don't have those resources. They don't have those connections. But you have other people who they're about quantity, not quality. They're about not like, I want to be in it, but I don't want to really fix it.
Yeah.
So I want to bring awareness, which is why when you say, oh yeah, I'm in there, because let's bring awareness to, it does matter who you surround yourself with. You said, if I didn't have my uncles, okay, there would have been a problem.
Yeah.
And so you had people who were able to tell you, empower you, but we're living in a day and age to where we don't have that. You don't have the uncles, and you really don't have, some of them don't have the aunties that are pouring in the positive and things of that nature. And so it just exacerbates the issue even more.
And when you talk about the environment, so gambling, you ain't around people that's like, I ain't gonna say upstanding. So they not messed up folks, but they got some ways about them now.
Right.
And so here's another thing that it's like the compound effect. Like one thing led to another.
Yeah.
So as I'm struggling, trying to figure out not being broke, don't want to ever be broke again, I'm exposed to men that think having money and having women is what makes you a man.
Right.
So now I get open to another world to where, man, they praise me for having some money in my pocket, and they praise me because I can get a girl. I feel like I'm a man.
Right.
I feel like I'm somebody. And I'm looking back on it now as I'm a 40-year-old man. I'm like, man, look at how superficial look at how fleeting, look at how foolish you base your worth on something that never mattered. And I'm saying there are a lot of young men, college age, high school, that are exposed to the same thing that think that's what makes a man. That's what makes them valuable. And I'm like, man, I just want to grab you and say, hey, man, you're headed down a road. You're headed down a path that leads to nowhere. So when we talk about unhealed trauma, how does it affect relationships?
Man, listen, Danyella's over here laughing, but like she was kind of tapping on it a little while ago, because you have a dude that's over here bleeding because he don't know who he is, and then you hook up with somebody that got stab wounds all over the place too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So even if you grow up in a household, like for me, at a younger age, I think, you know, I was in my early 18s and 18 to 21. So I was 21 when I got married. But out of my trauma, I had decided I didn't want to be that dude that was, because my dad was out there doing what he was doing.
Yeah,
I didn't want to be him.
Yeah.
And that was part of my, like, I was not going to be him. I was going to be a family man. I was going, you know, I was going to love my wife, take care of my kids, and do all that kind of good stuff. But, you know, talk to my wife now, looking back at it, we were 21. That's just
young.
We had to go through a lot to get to where we at today.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So, and she's young. She's 22. I'm 21. And so now we got to go through and bring all of our trauma into this big old melting pot of trauma. And 2 years later, you know, we got kids on top of trauma.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
sir.
it's a lot to kind of deal with. And outside of my relationship with God, at the end of the day, that's my only saving grace. That my relationship with God, and I don't want to make it all, you know, so spiritual and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
Because my relationship with God is my foundation.
Yes, sir.
But what I had to learn to do in my 20s, early 20s, was that was my first time really going to get help. And I say help, I mean just therapy, talking to another person that had credentials that wasn't under the shade tree
talking about, oh man, you gonna be all right. That's normal. Ain't nothing wrong with you.
And telling me I could just go get some women, go get something to drink and smoke some weed. Like I had to get something different in order for me to do something different. And I wanted something different for my life. And so I saw a whole lot of my friends and people that I knew from my childhood and stuff, just choosing a whole different path. And I had decided that's not the path that I wanted for my life. I wanted something different. And so I set out on a journey in my 20s to become a better version of myself. And I don't think I've reached it. I'm in my 50s now.
Still rolling.
I'm still rolling. But I try to get better every day. And I think every season, so my 20s, I can capture it. And I know what kind of fool I was. In my 30s, like, oh, I'm fool, but I'm a better fool over here in my 30s and 40s,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
And then in my 40s and 50s, man, I have learned how to love me. And that's what I didn't have in my 20s and 30s and in my younger years, because I was shown that level of love from a woman, from a mother, but I was never shown that level of love from a man. And so not knowing how to really, truly, what love looks like and how you take care of yourself. And, you know, you go on an airplane, they say, you know, the plane's going down, you put your mask on first.
Yes, sir.
And for majority of us guys, man, we don't know how to do that. And we're feeling guilty if we do it.
Yes, sir.
And if you say relationships, you hook up with the wrong person, they think you wrong for putting your mask on first because you trying to save yourself so you can save the family. So it's a whole lot of stuff you got to work out and work together and work on and pray about and do all that kind of good stuff, man. But relationships are a journey, in my opinion. And the key to it is having a solid foundation, in my opinion. And then making sure that you're pouring into yourself and finding out who you are. I asked a question to some guys not long ago. I was like, dude, what you like to do? They don't know. Like, what's fun to you? What do you enjoy?
And most of it is rooted in helping somebody else.
It's all about what they're doing in the baseball and the kids and the team and the job.
People
and
pleasing and praise.
Yeah. They have no idea what they like.
And so you said something, and then I'm going to go to you with this relationship question, right? You said something that I thought I had figured out until I realized what real love was. I used to think that I loved myself, but it was superficial. It was, you're wrapped up in exterior things. And so for any young man, any young woman that's out there listening to this, like, real love is saving yourself from all the world, like all of this chasing women. When I see a man now that thinks having a bunch of women is normal, you don't love yourself. You don't know how valuable you are, and you're exposing yourself to so many. I was that fool. I'm saying putting myself in bad environments, in gambling. I'm gambling, or I'm in the club where they could potentially be shooting in here. I'm thinking I'm loving myself by having a good time. But Kendale, if you love yourself, there's certain places you don't go.
Right.
There's certain things you don't do. And we don't all get it right. So this is not about me saying, oh, I got it figured out and I'm perfect. I'm just saying I'm more aware of what real love is. And the way God loves me is the way I should be reflecting that same thing to me.
Right.
And so I used to expose myself to stuff. That's why now I can sit at the house and be all right.
But see, you can't even, relationship-wise, you can't really love her,
Man.
until you learn how to love you.
Yes, sir.
And so you fighting her to get something from her
That she can't give you.
she can't give you, and you don't even know
Man, you done got me
what it
ready to
is
get-
in you.
You got me ready to get up out
You
this
know what I'm
seat.
saying? So that's the key to the relationship.
Man.
Like, first of all,
But it's not just manly. It's even in females. You know, we talk down to other females, but you've got to think about too, there are feminine relationships. Moms, we don't talk about the absent moms. It's like we talk about the absent fathers, but there are absent mothers. And even my mama don't mind me talking about her. Mary know I love her to pieces, but my mom was not raised by her mother. And so as a child, that piece of affection that I saw other people's mom give them, my mama didn't have to give. Now, baby, you can't, Mary, you don't have to come, don't listen to this, Mary, but you don't have to come to Hattiesburg every week. You can't beat her getting down.
She gonna come.
She's coming.
Yeah.
Because now she understands how to pour into her daughter and other daughters. And she has no problem loving on them. She got so many children she doesn't know. But you can't, for me, I had to find that elsewhere. Luckily, I had a grandmother. I was her baby. And so she was able to pour that into me.
Yeah.
And so that's where I understood how to love myself. But I was running one day, Kendale, out there in the parking lot at the gym. And all I could hear God say was, you're saying that you hear women say, I lost myself. But you can never lose yourself in him. And he was talking about Christ, of course. And so I was like, yes. And so we don't have the foundation because in 2026, you look at the pews, half of them are empty, opposed to years in the 70s, the 60s, and on up. The church was full.
Right.
And so even if there wasn't a father in the home, we was at church.
Right.
Even if the mom was absent, the grandparents had us at church.
Right.
I think about being a PK, we went and picked up people whose parents weren't taking them to church. And so there was that foundation of faith, and that is missing. And so, yeah, I'm going to tell you that, if you don't have 15 or 20 girls, you ain't nothing. Or if you ain't got 2-3 men paying your bills, you ain't nothing, you ain't nobody. Because that is the foundation that has been laid from my parents, not mine, but, on and on and on.
Right.
And so we have to change the narrative. That's what we really have to do. Otherwise, relationships are going to continue to suffer. Men are going to continue to feel like it's okay to sow royal oats and lay seeds here and there and not be responsible. Accountability is not going to be something that we see going forward. Bible says, a tree by the fruit it bears. And so we've seen a lot of rotten fruit. We've seen a lot of rotten fruit. So yeah.
So we talked. So Graham, you talked about something that was when you say relationships. Man, look, I've been married 13 years, and I believe the first decision that I made was accepting Christ, and the second best decision I made was getting married. Early on in my marriage, what I didn't have language for is that little boy that was needing something and expecting my wife to fill it.
Yeah.
And as I got around other men, as I got around people that like helped me understand the journey better, I was expecting her to give me something that she didn't have the capacity to give me. That's why whenever I hear somebody say, oh, he or she make me happy, I get nervous. Because I don't need my wife to make me happy. If I'm depending on my wife and she's depending on me to make her happy, now I can contribute to it, but your soul, your happiness should come from you.
Right.
Happiness is an emotion that we experience when something happens. And so in order for me to be happy, I have to do something. And it's not you have to do something to make me happy. I have to do something to make my own self happy. Otherwise, when your job changes or when your situation changes or you said dad had to stop working, then I'm no longer happy. And so when we're not happy, we find ourselves to not be motivated. We find ourselves to be in a bad mood. We find ourselves to withdraw, to isolate. And so that's when that depression and that mental health starts sinking in and we start to see our behaviors. You were talking about the 7 out of 10, but over 3.1 million people in the world struggle with both depression and anxiety, which does impact us on our jobs. So just imagine we're spending $1 trillion annually on low productivity because you have 3.1 million people in the world who are suffering. And if all of those people were to seek some sort of therapy or some sort of help, then we would have more production. We wouldn't have the job market would probably be in a better state. But it's something has to happen. Someone has to do something in order for us to be happy.
We got to go back to our foundation, man.
Right.
So look, I'm glad he said something about foundation because look, I want to talk about this. So I love the church. I'm talking about like because I understand its purpose and its intent. Now, you know, if you doing all the fluffy stuff and it ain't real, you're gonna lose me. My question is, can faith and therapy work together? Like
They can't work separate.
So here's why I say that, because telling me to just go pray about it, it'll be okay, didn't work for me.
Because faith without work is dead. That's biblical. You're the preacher.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah, I have I support this guy as a line called Jesus and Therapy. So I have a sweatshirt that says Jesus and Therapy. I wear it sometimes and get compliments or get questions about the shirt. If I'm really honest, this is a safe place, right?
Come on, talk.
Like, I think overall the church is failing. We're failing in this space because and I think this is the universal church. You know, I'm talking about.
Yeah, not a particular church. Don't take it out of context. I'm saying, yeah, go ahead.
So the church is failing in this space because, there's a need, and there's only so much that a local body can particularly do on a Sunday morning, right? But there's other resources. There's a Danyella, and there's other resources that's available. I think the partnership needs to come in better alignment, because if you're only allowing to get your therapy on what's happening on Sunday morning, you're going to get a whole lot of information and inspiration. But when it comes time for the rubber to hit the road and the follow through, and what you're going to do, when you experience those those things at home, who are you going to go to? What are you going to do? So we got to do a better job at partnering. If you can't do it within it, you got to provide an opportunity to partner, to provide those, and it's as simple as practical. I mean, we hit several things that's been very practical. You talked about job loss, food insecurity. You talked about a whole lot of different things that you wouldn't necessarily think is wrapped around mental health, but it does affect you. It affects your psyche. It affects your well-being. And so I'm saying that the church, in a sense, has to do a better job in partnering with the resources, not only just in therapy, but in those areas that there's unmet needs as well. Because when those needs are met, you increase the well-being of the individual, you know?
Pass out in church because you're having cardiac arrest and let them just go to praying.
Yes.
But not do any
We've seen
type
this
of,
happen recently, but it didn't work out well. But
and not do any CPR.
Yeah.
Or not receive any type of emergency medical response.
Yeah.
He give us good sense.
Yeah.
And when people, for a perfect example, the individual who contacted me in regards to midlife crisis, I followed up. Hey, tell me how that's going. Oh, she went to her doctor. They diagnosed her with general anxiety disorder. Okay. Did you refer her, I'm not taking any new patients, but I have clinicians who can take them on. Did you refer them for mental health services? Oh, we just going to pray about it. Didn't God send me to school for this? Didn't he send the people who work for me to school? We're trained. Just as you go to the doctor,
Right.
he anointed and trained and educated the doctor. The mental health, it's the same thing. That one preacher, that one pastor, and his 5 or 6 associates cannot touch that congregation of 600 people throughout the year.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So why do you think, so I get it. I see the problem. I see that too. My question is, do you think the people that's in the body of Christ, that's the church, think that they lack faith, that they have to go outsource something else? Like if it's like, I'm trying to say it this way. Like, I don't want people to think that I like Jesus in therapy, right? Because I know there are people that are trained. There are people that are licensed. There are people that God has called in this space and gifted to do that. And so, but I also hear people say, all I need is just give me Jesus. But we're the hands and feet of Jesus.
Right.
We're the people. So do you think people think that, man, I lack faith if I go get therapy?
They do. So I have been fortunate in the last 3-4 years to be a part of some amazing conferences in the church. The Lord, 2 things that he gave me during and after the pandemic was ministry in the marketplace and mental health in ministry. And so the two, they go hand in hand. And you talk collaboration. It is, I'm a PK. My dad has been a preacher, a pastor most of my life. Well, all of my life, most of his. And one of the things that I've seen him do is get up at 3:00 in the morning to go wherever his members have called him to go. And so they feel free to call him. Me as the therapist, you say I got 2 phones. That's because at 5:00, you can't get me on one. And so it is important that the ministers, the pastors start saying, hey, listen, I got you, but I need you to go and get professional help.
Absolutely.
My calling of faith is not the same as the therapeutic models that we're trained, the cognitive behavioral therapy modality that we're trained with, the personality and mood disorders that we're trained in. You're not a doctor, are you?
Registered nurse.
Okay, well, you're not a doctor. Right? Okay, I'm gonna use you. You can't go tell him to go and get him some Wellbutrin right now because your symptoms. This is depression.
Right.
You need this type of medication. You're not trained in that because he doesn't have the motivation to do it on his own. Or hey, I see you're having some mood disorders here. How about we give you some Abilify to kind of manage some of that aggression? You're not trained in that. And honestly, it's above my scope. So when I talk about it, I refer them to the nurse practitioner to talk that. And in the church, the pastors, I talk boundaries a lot. In church, we have to know what our boundaries are.
Yeah.
That way, and when I worked inpatient at Pine Grove, we saw so many preachers coming in, male and female, pastors, evangelists, who were coming in overwhelmed by the burden that the members, that the congregation had on them. They have to hold that, and they don't have anyone, or they don't feel they have anyone to let that go to.
But then you got to ask a question, the leadership, are they well?
Because they there every Sunday, 52 weeks out the year.
Right. So, like, we know our struggle.
Yeah.
Sitting in the pew, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we just said, 7 out of 10 never go get help. And then 1 out of every 3, it says 1 out of every 3 men. So next time you're sitting in the barbershop, 1 out of every 3 men have thought about suicide in the last 2 weeks. 1 out of every 3.
Mm.
So you sitting in a place where there's, this going on, and you got to ask the question, how well are they? And so to put that kind of pressure on somebody who might not be well,
Mm-hmm.
you follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the us as individuals, us in community, it's about unity and coming together and covering each other.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the body does. This exterior on the outside of us, it covers us. That's what God gave us, to cover us. And so it's not just one part. It's not just the pastor or the leader or the deacon or the this and the mother and this and that. We cover each other. And so by doing so, man, like, they might need to go get some help. You know what I'm saying? They need a break.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to ask the question, do our leaders get a chance to be vulnerable enough to say, I'm not okay, or I don't know? And are they looked down upon if they do?
Come on. And so look, you're saying something that I think what I've experienced is somebody call me and say, hey man, how you doing? And I'm like, man, I'm struggling. Got some stuff on my mind, dealing with some stuff. And they have this,
I don't feel safe to tell you and so we keep coming back to this common emotional need of safety and security. And so we have to, you said, create a space, but even in the church, it is important that the congregation, we encourage the congregation to provide a safe space for the pastor, not to necessarily tell us how they're feeling, but a lot of preachers won't take time off because guess what? There's that concern, if I don't answer that phone at 3:00 in the morning, somebody
gonna have a problem.
Absolutely. I'm gonna lose this.
And
this my highest tide payer.
And so check this out. I was watching Dave Chappelle. He said something on an interview.
It was brilliant.
Man, he is special. This cat got it going on.
Yeah.
He said he was 19 years old and he was opening up for Richard Pryor.
Mm-hmm.
He's opening up for Richard Pryor, and Richard Pryor is not feeling well. And so it's a bunch of people that had paid their money to come in there and see Richard Pryor. And Richard Pryor gets on stage and he says, I ain't feeling it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd applauded.
Mm-hmm.
They embraced him. And I'm saying, if you don't have a place to go to say you're not okay, then you struggle and suffer in silence.
Yep.
Because we're not always okay. And it could be a pastor, it could be therapist, it could be whatever that looks like. And I'm saying, I believe that is what's driving, because you got social media.
Right. Yes.
Right? Social media has this perfect picture. Like, I post a picture of me and my wife and people, oh man, I want that. Like, you sure you?
Absolutely, man.
Like,
Right.
you don't know what it took to get this. And so people live in this fairy tale world
AI
to make you believe that it's always all good. And so when you don't have a place to go to say, I'm sick, I'm hurting, I'm struggling, I believe that's what makes us the suicidal thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be over with.
Yeah.
Because I ain't got a place I can be a man and say, man, let me just slump down in this chair. Like, I could go talk to my wife and tell her, baby, I ain't feeling my best today.
Yeah.
And she don't see me any different.
Right. Any less
Than a man. I got friends. If I pick up the phone and call Graham, man, look, I just need to talk to somebody. He ain't gonna leave that conversation saying, man, you know what? I thought Kendale was better than that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the type of people that I have surrounded me in my life. And I think in our communities, like in the hood, where people are struggling, where people are suffering the most, they don't have a place to go to say, man, look, hey, you know, it's okay to be
Not okay.
not okay.
Not okay.
You talk relationship, and most of the time when we think relationships, we think the intimate relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But relationship is so much deeper than that. Because of mental health issues and mental health disparities, you find people not connecting with people in the community. You find them not making friends because I don't trust you. I don't feel secure in telling you these things. We go to church. We literally go to church. We hear the preacher preach. We go home. We don't make those relationships. We don't create that community of people where I can pour out. Because as the therapist, you know, I had a client, she said, Danyella, what do you do? I got two, baby. I got two therapists. It takes two to deal with me. But no, because I see 36 patients minimum a week.
Wow.
That's not to include the family that calls. It's not to include the friends that call. It's not to include the outreach that I do. And so in order for me to show up with the smile, to show up with the energy, I have to. But I've created this community outside the therapy room because the therapist only gives me 1 hour.
Right.
And so I have to lean on somebody else in those other times. And it's not 1 hour every week.
Yeah.
And sometimes the therapist might have an appointment. They might need to, okay, let's reschedule this. And so you're finding those things that allows me to feel safe creating relationship.
Yeah.
That makes me feel safe to attach to people in certain areas and not always think you gonna tell my business or it's a problem if I tell you when I'm not okay. My mama gets sick of me saying I don't have the capacity to do it. But I'm so mentally sound when I don't have the capacity. Competence and capacity are not the same thing. I'm smart and skilled to do a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But I just don't have the capacity to
That's
do
it. That's
and
it.
I feel safe to tell someone.
So let me ask you this. How does social media affect mental health?
Man, AI got us all it's people they're looking for what all that you see on social media. And I'll say this openly, social media is fake. Danyella, is never going to get on Facebook and tell you I've had a bad day or horrible day. I got on there last week and I said, disappointed. I experienced disappointment. And it's going to be okay. I know it's going to be okay. I'm not telling you I was disappointed because I'm sad. I'm telling you I was disappointed because I want you to understand that disappointment comes even for me. But you see a lot of people and all they tell you is the good stuff. We rolling in money, but they ain't tell you the heartache, the distress, the pain, the blood, the sweat, the tears that came in order for us to even get where we are. And that is the problem. You don't see the in-between.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Nip and
But
clip.
really, when you look at the data behind social media, it's all about dopamine, serotonin. And you are triggering these things in the brain in order to create these euphoric experiences that you want over and over and over and over again. And so it's you're attracted to this because you're getting something, your body's responding to this neurological and hormonal thing that's happening inside your body, right? And so that's the danger of it, because you talked about addictions a little while ago. It's the same thing, but it's unseen.
Yeah.
When people complain about sleep disturbance, I say, tell me what you're doing. Like, I just can't sleep. Tell me what you're doing. What I ain't thinking about nothing. Well, tell me what you're doing that you can't sleep. Just scrolling on Facebook.
Yep.
scrolling
Blue
on
light.
social media.
Yeah.
And honestly, that causes overstimulation. And
Yes.
so, just as you talked about the gambling, and it's the ringing that makes you want more, it stimulates you to want more, it excites you. It's the same thing with social media.
And so I'm an advocate for social media. And here's why I say that. Because I believe you can reach and help people. I just struggle with the people that need it to be validated.
Right.
Like I don't need, and that's where, cause you could tell, like the people that feel like, oh, if I get likes or if I go viral, that makes me somebody. And I'm saying, well, when you go viral, what next?
What next?
Right.
And not only do I think social media has a good and a bad side to it, I think one of the negatives to it is this comparison trap,
Yeah.
right? You're looking at somebody else's life and you don't even know that that's not real. And you're chasing something that's not even attainable for them. And you're chasing it and it's not real for them.
It's not real for them.
And so now you have this picture in your mind of what you think life should be.
Yeah.
Look at our kids. Look at our kids. We talk about bullying. And a lot of our kids are bullied because social media says that they should wear this type of shoe. Social media says that they should wear their hair in this type of way, hang with this crew. And so we get a lot of bullying as a result of the comparison of this person on social media. They should be this size in comparison to what teens and what people their age are on social media. And so it's problematic not just for the adults, but it's problematic for our children. Half of the fights at school, you know where they start? On Snapchat, social media.
But I think it goes back, if we're going to drill it back a little bit, because number one, why do you care? You know what I'm saying? You don't know who you are.
Yeah.
That's why. Once you deal with you,
That's it.
once you know who you are, once you know the value and the worth that resides within you and who God called you to be and why he created you and what he thinks of you, all that other stuff, then you can see the positive sides of the social media and you can use it. But like until those questions are answered and you can figure out who you are and why you woke up today, you're gonna have this struggle.
And Graham, I think that's the message. We have to go and do a deep dive and figure out who we are.
Yeah.
Because like J. Cole, shout out J. Cole. He has a song called Love Yours. I put him up there with Biggie, with Pac, with all these rappers. And the chorus of it says, there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. And when you know who you are,
Right.
and you know God for yourself, you'll stop thinking that the better version or the best life is out there and start realizing, hey man, God woke me up today.
Yes,
I got
sir.
purpose. I'm breathing. I'm healthy.
sir.
I can be in my own lane
Absolutely.
and do my own thing.
We can own the same business and we're not in competition.
In competition,
Absolutely.
I ain't trying to tear you down. I ain't trying to
Right.
look down on you
Right.
and compare myself. Oh, you got this car. So no. I like the one I got.
Right.
And that's what I think people are struggling with the most is that they're looking at everybody else's life and thinking that they have something better than they do.
See, that's the plot. That's the trap. That's the objective of this guy that we all know called the enemy, right?
Yes, sir.
So if he can keep you looking out, you'll never start to look in. And that's where the work lies, right? And so even with my kids, man, I'm like, I've tried to do my best to tell them, like, it does not matter what somebody else is doing. You know, when we grew up, our parents said it this way. If he gonna jump off the cliff, you gonna go jump off the cliff.
Go with him. You gonna
know
go
what
with
I'm
him.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the way they said it. But like, we got to figure out what's our language to these kids, to these young girls and young men, in order for them to understand who they are and like to see the value and the worth and who God created them to be, because that's where the answer lies.
And man, look, like that's if I can do something, if I could do anything for my kids, like my desire is, to leave a legacy, to leave an inheritance, that's fine. But if I can help them know God and know themselves, I think I won as a parent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because here's when you talk about the enemy. God created man and said that we were created in his image.
Right.
And then a few chapters over, the devil sees Adam and Eve and says, if you eat of this fruit, you'll be, but in chapter 1, he said that he created me in his image already. But now you're telling me that I need to eat this fruit and I'll be more like God. I already got what I need.
Right.
Now you're trying to make me believe that I need something else
external
to add value to me.
Because you're not enough.
Because you're not enough. And I'm telling you, it's that is rooted in the violence.
Yes.
That's rooted in the relational issues that we have. That's rooted in our financial issues, and not understanding purpose is thinking that we're not enough.
Yeah.
Man, listen, I don't hang with just anybody. If you don't invite me, I probably wouldn't come in the first place, because I'm okay being me. I'm okay being me. Like, I always ask people, when you invite me somewhere, I want to know what's the attire. And they be like, man, why you always want to know because I want to show up just like this. I want to show up as myself. And if I don't feel like putting a suit and a tie, man, I'm good without being involved in that.
Right.
And not thinking that I'm missing something.
Right.
And I need something else to make me feel better about myself. Like, it's not the car you drive, it's what's driving you that matters.
Right.
I'm enough.
That's it. And I like, I have this burning desire to want people to get that. Man, you don't have to do all this crazy stuff. You don't have to go get this next thing. You should be adding value to the stuff you get, opposed to the other way around.
Yeah.
And until we get to that place, social media gonna drive us crazy.
Right.
The stuff that they post and say you need to get this next thing is gonna drive us crazy. Like, until we realize that we are enough, I think mental health is gonna continue to run rampant. And I'm just this big advocate for us having these conversations. I'm this big advocate for us talking, because we're dealing with more than you can see on the surface. It took me a while to get to this place. I didn't wake up and arrive here, and I'm still on a journey, still working through some stuff. And I'm not ashamed to talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about it, because I feel like I'm enough. I know who I am, and it don't matter what people gonna say when they see it. Like, man, I didn't know that about him. Good. Look at the grace of God.
I always tell, and I definitely was saying this more so the last few weeks, people don't see the struggle from me because I do so much work so that you don't, because I don't want to bleed on you. And so I have to work hard so that people don't, because there are individuals who are not equipped to deal with the struggles that Danyella has. And the moment that you see me come out and it's going to take you down.
Yeah.
And so that's why I have to do the work so that I can show up as who God called me to be. Because in my flesh, I be wanting to quit a lot of times.
Yes, sir.
But my spirit man won't allow me. And so I have
on.
to do the work behind the scenes so that I can show up with a smile on my face. So that I can say greater is he that is in me than that is in the world.
Yeah.
So I can show up with the energy because I'm more than a conqueror, you know? And so, it takes work. It takes work, but it's not a one-time work. It's continuous. People come to that first appointment, they be like, I'm good, I don't have to come back. No, you need to keep coming back.
Yeah, keep on coming.
Keep on coming.
And I think that's profound that you say. I love the fact that we share. I just sometimes think we need to share to the right people.
Right.
Because everybody don't have the capacity to handle what I'm struggling with, what I'm dealing with.
Absolutely.
Like, I could go to Graham and talk to him about marriage. I can go to Graham and talk to him because I trust that, for one, he's been there, and two, he don't see me any different if I share, and he don't look at it like, man, I can't believe he's dealing with that. And so I think that's one of the things that, like, we ain't even got enough time to talk about this oversharing in social media space, overtelling my business to people that can't help me.
Yes.
Have you read the comments?
Oh, listen, the comment, you got people that are unqualified, that ain't got sense enough to be doing none of this stuff, and they on there commenting about your life. And I'm saying you have to find people that can handle your mess.
It's a call on my life, and so I can't tell the wrong person because it's detriment to the call on my life.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Your circle is key, man.
Yeah.
Like, it really is your key. So I think putting together the right people in place in order for you to be able to lay that stuff down and be able to share it. I had a guy to say the other day, I met him, and he really blessed me. He used the word value. But he's telling about he had lunch with his son, and I actually took it and did applied this principle. And son was college age, and he needed some tires for his car and whatever. But he took his dad to lunch, local pastor actually, and he said he wanted to pay, his son wanted to pay for lunch, and so he shared the story with me that that he sat down with his son. He's like, I got it. No, he's like, no, Dad, I got it. And he's like, wow, he's taking me to lunch and he has a need. And so he had a conversation with his son about value. And he said, well, what can I do for you? How can I show value to you? And he used those words, and it just pierced me. And so he knew his son needed some tires for his car and some other, like a tag and some other stuff. And so he wanted to show the value back to his son and teach the principle and importance of showing value. And so so I took that, I took that to my son, and I did some stuff for him. He had some needs or whatever the case may be. And I think we got to practice that. We got to practice showing the value that other individuals have and creating those, making sure that you have those right people in place in your life. That is, everybody's not going to be worthy of the value, but God has them in your life for some reason.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's not about what they did or didn't do and what they have to offer you. I'm not a transactional guy at all. I mean, like, I think it's one of my pet peeves. Like, I struggle with people that's transactional, because when I open up to you,
me too, man.
I'm like open up to you, like I'm giving to you
and not expecting,
and
it.
not
like
expecting
I'm
nothing
expecting
back.
us to be in now.
Yeah, we in it, right, together. So when it becomes like this, I gotta you because you did and I did. Like, I struggle. I may have to come see you about that. Some other guy about the other stuff.
I talk about boundaries. I tell people it's not transactional, but you got to have boundaries.
You do have to have boundaries.
Yeah.
But I think it's about creating those spaces and those people in place and making sure you share.
And we need them from the top down.
Yeah.
So look, so we're getting close to wrapping up, and what I would like for both of you to do is a message, something simple, something that's on your heart in this mental health space when it comes to women, come to men, whatever that looks like. What would you like people to leave with, the last words that you would share here?
Do a self-check. You talked about know who you are. My foundation is God, is the Holy Spirit. And every day I ask myself, Danyella, how are you feeling? Danyella, what do you need? How are you feeling? What do you need? Your feelings show whether or not your needs are or are not being met. And if you find yourself feeling in a negative way, what are you willing to do to meet that need? First of all, what's that need, and what are you willing to do to have that need met in a healthy way? I self-care. People say, Danyella, how do you do everything you do? I'm going to take time for Danyella. I'm going to take time for me. I'm going to get on the plane. I'm going to go to somebody's spa. I'm going to go to somebody's restaurant, put my feet up, something. I am always self-caring. And so I always tell people, ask yourself, how do you feel every day? And what is it that you need? But for every 30 days, you should have 3 self-care activities. And it's not getting your hair done, your nails done, your toes done, because that's self-maintenance. It's doing something that fills you up, that pours back into you everything that you have poured out to everybody else.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, wow.
My guy actually, that's one of the things. He asked me about my boundaries. I see my guy probably about every six weeks or so, whether stuff is good or bad. So I say, find somebody that you can see. So if you're not okay, I say, man, go see a therapist. Drop a comment in the chat, right now. Danyella can respond, or you can respond.
Yeah, we can
or
get
I
the
can
help you need.
respond,
Get
right?
the help you need.
And we can point you in the right directions if you're listening to this and you need help. So that will be one of my first things to say, to make sure that you get the help that you need. And it's okay to not be okay. And then And I think the other thing I would share with the fellas is that it's not weak.
At
Like
all.
there's no weakness in saying, hey, I need some help in navigating something. And even for guys that are not in a bad space, that's the best time in order to really get help.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want to sharpen yourself even more before you're in a rut?
Yeah.
Right? Like, why would you wait until you're in a bad place in order to go and why would you wait till you run out of gas to go get gas?
Come on.
Crises.
Come on.
Yeah, like you gonna get the can and go walk down the street with your no,
Yeah.
man, you got a full tank of gas or half a tank of gas, go fill up again.
Yeah.
And that's all this is what this is. And I tell people, my family, my friends that's closest to me, like it's no different than if you have high blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure and you know your blood pressure's out of control, and you can't get it under control by the things that you're doing, you're going to go to the doctor and get help for your high blood pressure, right? Because that could lead to something detrimental to your life. Why, if your mind and your body in a mental capacity is not able to function like it needs to, why wouldn't you go get help in the same manner that you would for that high blood pressure? I mean, it's a pill. It's a talking to your doctor, talking to your therapist. I mean, like it's the same thing, but we've created such a stigma that's attached to somebody from a mental health perspective, and it's still a physiological condition that you still need help for. So don't let somebody chump you out and talk you into believing that this is any different from your high blood pressure, your diabetes, or your you break your ankle or whatever the case may be. Man, go get the help you need.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah.
Go get the help you need.
And man, as I listen to both of y'all talk about, you know, the things that you would leave with people, I think about my faith. And I learned early on walking with God that I was not him. And so there's this desire that people say, well, I want to be like Jesus. I want to walk like him. I want to talk like him. I want to do what he did. And I come to realize I don't have the capacity to be him. And so what I've learned to do is not try to carry everybody else's life or burdens on me and think that I'm their savior.
Yes, sir.
Because as a helper, as an encourager, people always come to you.
Yeah.
And you have to create these boundaries. You have to create this space to say, man, listen, as much as I want to help you, I can't help you if I ain't helping me first.
Absolutely.
And I think that complex for Christians, for believers, for people that say they love God, that's a hard thing that they deal with because most people won't tell you that they struggle when they can't help somebody.
It took me 39 years. I just hit 40.
Yeah. And I'm still working that thing out. I'm learning in this phase of like the 40s to 50 stage. Like I can't save you. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And or I can't help you. And sometimes in this phase of my life right now, I'm getting a little family or friends not understanding why I got to focus a little bit more on me.
Yeah.
And like there's something wrong with me or something, you know, like I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Because I've given so much.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to a point in my life where I value me. So if you don't value me the way I value me, then we gonna have to make some shifts in how we're operating.
But even Jesus said, push away from
See,
me.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm saying
Everybody wasn't able to sit amongst them.
once he was done doing the miracle, he told it, hey man, push away and get away from the crowd.
Absolutely.
And I'm saying as people that are trying to help, that have a load on their back to provide and take care of families and do all this stuff, man, that would be my encouragement. What I would leave to people is, hey man, take care of yourself.
You got to.
Even Jesus, Peter, John, and James, he walked away. He said, y'all stay here.
I'm gonna go be with
I'm
the
gonna
Father.
go over a little farther up the road and handle this with my pops.
Mental wellness was in the Bible.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother segment.
Because the people that was the closest to him could not help him.
And look, and I'm saying, I'm trying to wrap up, but you pushing on me. You pushing on me. Listen, because he went back to them.
He did.
And he said, "Could you not stay up?
Can you not stay up with me? I ain't asked you to like be with me right now in this where I'm at, but just have my back.
Just watch.
Just be curious that I'm okay."
And the way
they could not do it.
And the way he modeled it
Yeah.
was an example to let us know that you can't rely on people.
You can't. It's only him. It's only God that can get you through your garden.
That's it.
Because you're headed to the cross.
That's it.
But Sunday morning is coming.
It's coming. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, look. So, man, listen. I'm encouraged. Right. I just a lot of times I do this, and I'm thinking that I'm coming in here to help people, but like this stuff be helping me. Like to hear the perspective, to hear the heart, to hear the concern and the desire that you all have for this space. Like that's what makes the village. Whenever I created this, whenever I believe God gave me this, these two words have been on my heart and on my mind for the past 3 or 4 years. I just never moved. And I wanted to create something where people felt like when they came here, they left better. When people heard this, they left better, because that's part of the village that I grew up in. Whenever I was living in New Orleans, I could go by my grandmother's house. I can go down the street to the neighbor and I could get what I needed in the village, and nobody talked about me. Nobody made me feel bad. I didn't feel like y'all were going to judge me for any struggle that I had today. And that's what this is about. Right. And I'm saying, I believe we should be creating more conversation like this.
Absolutely.
Creating spaces like this for men and women to openly share and be free. So from me, man, I appreciate y'all for just taking out the time. I know both of y'all busy. Y'all got family, y'all got life, but the fact that y'all will stop by and share in this mental health space have been a blessing.
It's like, the assignment.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
So appreciate it. Well, that wraps up another episode of the Village Podcast, where people help people. Thank you all for tuning in. And listen, please take your mental health serious. If you're not okay, it's okay to not be okay. Just get some help. Add a comment, drop a line, say whatever. We'll help point you into the right direction with the right resources. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with somebody else. It may help them save their life.
It takes a village